The school for Mucha was a better wizard academy than Hogwarts. This is going to be a straight to business video. In my last couple, I kind of went off the rails ranting about who's fucking the vacuum cleaner and who lives on Simp Planet, but not anymore. This one is just about the drawing. I mean, for a second, I'll just talk about for a second how much I appreciate and spiritually resonate with the Flea. The Flea is such an underappreciated character. He's an anti-hero, but not in a sexy way. Not like Batman, where he's all broody and pissed off because he's got inner demons. No, the Flea is just fucking lazy and shitty and grimy, but, you know, he's got a good heart. That's the most relatable shit on earth, especially when you're a young kid. Yeah, the Flea was my fucking spirit animal when I was a kid. But no, I'm doing it again. I'm not gonna rant, I'm not gonna ramble in this video, I'm just gonna tell you about the drawing. So, as you might have noticed at the beginning, my workspace was already really messy. And that's because I like to start out, especially if I'm working digitally, I like to start out by just doodling and messing around and seeing what kind of stuff works. And the idea is just to not go in with a dry dick, to warm up your drawing muscles a little bit first, get your creativity going. And yeah, the page that you saw at the beginning was the third page I had of just doodles, figuring stuff out, working it out. I found that for me, and everybody works differently, but for me, I just think better if I do it on paper rather than come up with an idea in my head and try my best to make that work. So at the start, I knew what characters I wanted to use, and I knew roughly what kind of action I wanted to be happening. But everything else I had to figure out and work out on paper. And how I came to this pose was just by doing a bunch of different heads, just doodling heads, and then I did one head shape that I really liked, and that shape was just easy to build a body off of, so I went from there. Then with Buena Girl, it was not as easy. With that one, I had to use references. I had to take a reference picture of my own, and how I approach references normally is, rather than working off of just one picture I find off the internet, I'll Frankenstein together a bunch of different pictures. So for this one, there was I used a picture of a woman yelling to get the mouth. Then I used another picture of a person to get the nose. Then I just added the crazy eyes from imagination, and I took a picture of my roommate for the angle of the arm. So I kind of just jammed everything together and made an original image out of a bunch of stuff that already exists. So I got those two. I got my basic shapes down, and from there I did just a really coarse layout of the Flea's muscles and the like rib bones and stuff like that, and it was way more than ended up being in the final drawing, but I just wanted to know exactly where I'm going to be putting everything. And from there, I got everything in my image down, then scrunched it all down to one layer and dropped the opacity on it to 50%. I made another layer on top of it and went over with just the regular pencil tool and did an outline and did all of the little shaded bits. Then from there I started laying down my flats. So I sampled the colors from the cartoon characters themselves. I did both of the characters' skin tones in one layer, and in a second layer I did their outfits. That way when I went back and adjusted the layers to get everything right, kind of lower the saturation on them, I'd be lowering them by the same amount, just to keep everything consistent with everything else that's on the page. Then from there, I got all the areas where I had shading and did a multiply layer of the flat color just at a low opacity to give it a bit of flat shadow on top of it. Then I did the background, kept it real simple, just some basic shapes, and then went in with a bright orange and did the blood on the heart. And lastly, I threw it into Photoshop for just a second and tweaked the colors a little bit, played with the different levels, and I was done. You made it to the end. I appreciate you. Thank you for being here. Yeah, this video is a little bit different from the ones I've been doing. If you found it helpful, please let me know. Like, if you're someone who's drawing and having a bit of a hard time with it, and this was actually some useful information, then that'll be awesome to hear. And likewise, if you found this shit boring and would rather me go back to just ranting about shit I get weirdly mad about, then yeah, I can do that too. But yeah, stay up with me. I do a drawing stream on Reddit most days of the week. Links to everything in the description. And just be good out there. Catch you next time.